Thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Northeast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Taking a look at the satellite picture, we've got an upper level low that's making its way through the Great Lakes this Friday morning, and that is going to swing in through parts of the Northeast region, bringing some light precipitation, some blustery conditions here as we head through the next 24 to 36 hours. I'll look at the radar right now. Again, just some light precipitation associated with this upper level low right now, and it will bring some chances for some to see some snow here, but really, the heaviest impacts from the storm are going to be felt offshore once again. So you look at temperatures across the region, anywhere from the lower 20s in the north to near 30s across the mid-Atlantic. We've got some bitterly cold temperatures across portions of the Minnesota and Manitoba border, and then balmy conditions down here across South Florida, but pretty typical for this time of year across the Northeast right now. We've got wind advisories across portions of the Great Lakes and the eastern Corn Belt with strong northwest winds coming in on the backside of this upper level low as it makes its way through the region. We've also got storm warnings and hurricane force wind warnings off the coast. We'll take a look at some of those wind gusts we're expecting off the Atlantic coast here over the next 24 to 48 hours as well. Now, just playing a loop of the next 60 hours, the radar here for the forecast from the high-resolution NAM model. Again, you're seeing a rather disorganized picture until the storm system gets offshore, meets with another upper-level wave that's swinging in from the subtropical jet and really kind of takes off. But that evolution not happening over land here, so we'll see some rain across coastal areas here, especially across portions of southern Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania, getting into New Jersey. As we head through the afternoon today, with cold air coming in on the backside, there's a chance we'll see some snow here across, especially portions of New York, getting into central and northern portions of Pennsylvania, spreading into eastern Pennsylvania as we head into the overnight hours tonight before the storm system really starts to organize off the coast. This is getting into Saturday morning now. Should this have been maybe 200 miles further back to the east, or to the west, I'm sorry, we'd be talking about a big northeaster, or big nor'easter, but as it is, talking about a storm that's mainly bringing heavy impacts off the coast, just the chance for some light precipitation across the region. Let's check in with those wind gusts. Again, very windy, especially off the coast here as we head through the next 24 hours or so. As we head into this evening, into the overnight, seeing those winds gusting anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour at times across portions of Pennsylvania, Maryland, getting into New Jersey. Winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour up the coast as well, even to portions of coastal Maine. Now, as we head into Saturday afternoon, this is where we see those extremely strong winds off the coast. Here's the center of the area of low pressure right now off the Atlantic coast, and that's where we can see winds gusting 80 to 100 miles per hour. So very, very blustery conditions, very extremely stormy conditions off the Atlantic coast. Those winds across inland areas going to begin to wane as we head into Saturday night and Sunday morning, leading to a really beautiful Sunday across the region. Total forecast precipitation over the next 48 hours. This is liquid precipitation, again looking at several tenths of an inch across the heaviest areas here from central New York into central and eastern Pennsylvania, portions of New Jersey, and then possible we could get some accumulating snow here over far coastal areas of Massachusetts, already the Cape Hatteras area, maybe an inch or two of snow, and then again high elevations of northern Pennsylvania, getting into central and western New York, the chance for a couple of inches of snow, and then elsewhere maybe a trace here from some of those light snow flurries. We'll look at the wind gusts here once again from the GFS model, watching this storm really ramp off as it gets off the coast. Again, we've got two pieces here. We've got the first piece coming across the Great Lakes. We've got another low making its way up the coast. And when we see a merger of those two off the coast, that's where we really see this thing take off as we head into this evening and then overnight tonight, bringing those extremely strong wind gusts, breaking the color bar here, again, off the coast as we head through Saturday into Sunday. The next chance for some blustery conditions begins to move in with the next storm system here as we head into Monday, but really looking at a relatively nice several days once we get out of the backside of this storm system. We've got a pattern change to talk about. Here is the upper level low right now that is bringing the cooler temperatures, that's bringing the storm system to the region, but we've got a ridge building across the central plains. You can see it right here across the Rockies as we get the day started on Friday, and that is again going to shift off to the east slowly as we head into the weekend and early next week, setting up a pattern where we've got a ridge anchored in the east, a trough in the west, and that sets the stage for an active period across the Corn Belt into the northeast region. As we look at the upper level winds here, again from the European ensemble, as we head into mid to late next week, setting up a pattern here with just extremely strong winds within that jet stream, pumping moisture northward. We can take a look at that here with the precipitable water forecast from the European ensemble model. Again, let me bring it back, showing you what we've got right now, again with the pattern illustrating that trough across the eastern half of the country. That is pumping a lot of dry air into the region. That's why we're looking at a relatively dry passage of this storm system and then a dry next several days. If I take the drawings off again, now just setting the stage, setting the table for this pattern to evolve with the very strong jet stream winds across the central part of the country, pumping moisture northward into the Ohio River Valley, letting storm systems tap into that and then eventually track into the northeast region. There you see it as we get to the end of that loop. So now playing a loop of 24-hour precipitation. Again, you're going to see it begin with that very dry weekend across the region, but then here you see it just setting up a pattern where every 2 to 3 days we've got a storm system potentially tracking from the Corn Belt into the northeast region, bringing some precipitation along with it. So the 10-day precipitation anomaly from March 10th through the 20th. So that's not counting this dry weekend here. Once we set up this pattern, again, the trough in the west, the ridge in the east, we're pumping moisture northward, setting the stage for an active period here, especially across the Ohio River Valley parts of the central and eastern Corn Belt, but each one of those storm systems then with the chance to bring some downstream precipitation to the northeast region as we head through the next week or so. Now just checking in real quick with the NAM, or the European model, looking at the precipitation type forecast. Again, watching this storm system make its way off to the east. We'll then watch the south for our Monday and Tuesday precipitation to start sneaking into the region, really Monday night into Tuesday across the northeast region. Here comes that next storm system now making its way across the central plains here as we get into Sunday night. Now we are in Monday evening, so 6 p.m. on Monday evening. That storm system centered over the mid and lower Mississippi Valley. Let's head up another 24 hours into the future as we get to Tuesday afternoon and evening now. The storm system starting to sneak through the northeast region. It does not look like it's going to bring a whole lot in the way of accumulating snow, maybe some snow in northern areas, but this looks like a rainmaker across the northeast region, again, as we head into Tuesday. Now again, the pattern is being set for kind of repeated storm systems developing in that very same area, portions of the central and southern plains, tracking through the Corn Belt into the northeast region every 2 to 3 days. So we have another one to talk about here potentially Wednesday night into Thursday, and then another potential storm system to talk about Friday into next Saturday. So again, a relatively gentle weekend, but it does look like we do turn stormy and active across the central and eastern half of the country as we head into next week. Keeping things warmer than average, though, especially as we set up this pattern with a trough in the west. That'll lead to cooler conditions in the west, allowing warmth to build under that ridge. So really, as we look into the middle of March, I know a lot of us are kind of looking over our shoulder, looking for any sign that winter is going to come charging back and make a late push. And across the Corn Belt, across the northeast region, simply not seeing that at this time as we look into the third week of March. Finishing with a look at our high temperatures here, again on the chilly side as we get the weekend started here. Those highs in the upper 20s across northern Maine to the mid 40s off to the south. Similar look for the day on Saturday, but we start our warm up here on Sunday, Monday, and then into Tuesday, touching the 60s across portions of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, into coastal portions of Connecticut and Massachusetts. Looking at your overnight lows, again waking up tomorrow morning to single digits in the north, near freezing off to the south. A similar look on Sunday. Monday we're a bit warmer, that storm system starting to push into the region. Here's your Tuesday morning temperatures, again right around where our highs should be this time of year. Those lows in the mid 40s to near 50 degrees across portions of Pennsylvania, in New Jersey and Maryland, with again relatively pleasant conditions, even if it is a bit on the chilly side. Pleasant for this time of year as you head off to the north, with overnight lows in the 30s across New Hampshire and Vermont. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful weekend.